A dramatic shape that has a multi-purpose. Only 1,000 built in a span of 4 decades. A roomy seating with a compact fuselage. The spirit continues with a team who've been working quite hard to offer us something a bit more different than other models at the sim. Ladies and gentlemen, a next generation simming experience from the team of GotFriends to offer us right here at Microsoft Flight Simulator. Come join me as we uncover something breathtaking this season, and do subscribe as we intend to cover more areas of flight simming in the future. It's been 3 months since it reached the final stages. It would have been simpler to call it a final version and move it to the marketplace right away. That wasn't the plan to this gang. 9 weeks later, with incredible testing, efforts, getting fixes to address all kinds of issues, the team finally took their time to deliver a finished product. Before we begin, this is a PC and an Xbox release. The Wilga PZL 104. Originally planned and designed in Poland in 1962. It came a long way that was intended to be a robust aircraft that has its use on various activities. The Wilga is not just an aircraft. It has several purposes, including glider towing and parachute training. A Polish STOL, short takeoff and landing utility aircraft, which is created to serve recreational sports, civil aviation with a strong emphasis on glider towing. Over 4 decades, there have been several imported versions over time, helping fine-tune the model to a streamlined one, with a mere 1,000 built during this span. The type was used by civil operators, military services used to train future pilots, and also used as a liaison aircraft. We are pretty much aware by now who GotFriends are. A collaboration of different teams bringing great ideas who join hands to build something notably flying. Producing an aircraft to be study level comes with complexities, and each of the teams have used their best fortes to bring to the table. There are other beautiful projects by GotFriends, the Edgley Optica, the GBR3 Special, and the popular Discus 2C. The team have been supporting other models as well. Yes, with the 40th anniversary rolled in with a number of aircraft, but not all were 100%. Now GotFriends have made sure to work on a fix to enable features that have been missing, which is much needed. 4 different variants have been offered to us, and each variant carries 2 types. The standard, float, bush, and the super STOL that come with legacy avionics cockpit setup and midlife avionics setup included. Now some models from different studios similarly come with different variants, and most of the times they seem to look different but function the same. Not in the case of GotFriends. Variants have a purpose here, to be capable of handling different sorts of terrain that comes with different configurations in order to really manage them efficiently. That means each one of the variants here are unique with its own characteristics. When mentioned on 2 types under each variant, the 35 series are inclined towards the original Polish language that comes with an unregulated exhaust and various other features related to the Polish design, plus comes with legacy avionics cockpit setup. The 80 series on the other hand is more universal, following the English language, having a regulated exhaust and features related to the American import design that comes with a midlife avionics setup. The variant chosen here is the experimental, the 80X, the one with the 35-inch Alaskan bush wheels. We saw the types of variants the team offer us. Let's look at what it really makes it different apart from others. A dynamic cargo with CFT that visually moves with G-forces. For example, anything loose moves in the plane with G-forces, physically and visually. The textures have been well made on the outside, looking at the finish here, all the way from the fuselage to the rudder. One of the primary parts of the aircraft where we spend most of our time flight simming would be the cockpit. At times, it feels like a nicely made metal watch with the manner the instruments have been placed. There are two types in fact, which define the Polish type under each of the variant. That entails a different type of engine with more power, of course at 450 horsepower. Now with more power comes better speed at 136 knots, consisting of related instruments from the airspeed indicator, altimeter, hops meter telling us the flight hours earned, digital attitude indicator to the digital clock all the way to the navigation system, fluid fuel dynamics, radium painted avionics with UV lighting in the cockpit. What else can we expect from this model? Overstress features, thermal engine management, a suite of official sim-related failures which are in place. On the ski variant, you should expect skis with dynamic contact control, flaring, snow skid brake dynamics, and frost which have been integrated well. Now there are features that are usable consisting of the windshield visor, helping us stay more comfortable if the sun hits right on us. Cabin windows and vents, lock or unlock gust lock located in front of the pilot's flight stick. These are features that are variant specific, such as winter ski kit, which can be attached or removed. Navigational tablet, which are specific towards the standard variant, and water paddle deploy feature, which is float variant specific. On the far rear of the model is the cargo section, another area that has good focus. Now depending on the weight of the cargo, we can either have a camping bag, fishing bag, drink cooler, mini stove in a pan, or even a guitar depending on what your mood really is for the weekend, and something nice to have. Effects are another thing studios have these days to focus on. To name a few that add to the immersion: icing effects, rain effects, smoke, combustion, custom water physics, and custom ski physics. Notice that these are spread between all the variants, making it respond differently. Let's do a startup of the Wilga and keep the engines running to get a good listen. Taking right off over with some great views here. Music to the ears, I would imagine. It gives a good sense of how the Wilga can perform with the cockpit in place, sounds, and the manner it can respond and function. The sounds are fantastic here, and some of the elements one must keep note when producing a pairware. Now initially, the team had faced some challenges when it came to sound recordings, and somehow managed to schedule live sessions with the real owners, which really helped them build the WY sound packages, and it certainly has paid off with the level of sounds here. The startup combustion here is an additional feature. Now talking additional features, they add a bit more to realism, giving you that experience, and additional interactive features which the team have proudly covered. We can observe the prop wash vibration effects here, well covered by the team on both rudder and elevator. A part of the interactive feature the team have worked on, and it does add to the realism factor. The manner the needles and objects respond to the engine makes it quite enticing. Shakes respectively throughout the RPM cycles. Let's move to the rain mode here, and I'd like to show you something. Now, working windshield wipers have been a demanded one from the community as we see it. Visual rain displacement. Plus, icing removal. Now moving to the snow mode here for a second, we see how it works. New propeller simulation, NPS, CFD, computational fluid dynamics, and soft body simulation, SPS. Now the team have made sure to take good advantage of these features, and some of these features can be toggled. However, most of the features are built in. Other features like cylinder heat warping that happens due to shock cooling if you dive too fast with cowling shutters open. Engine start features that rely on spark shot switch, correct priming, active fuel pump, and sufficient oxygen. Needless to say, other functionalities seem to work perfectly fine, from visors needed on a sunny afternoon flight, the options to remove those. Let's take a small break, and I found a perfect place in between the woods as I'd like to show you another feature. Camping. I have no idea where I am, but somewhere in Alaska and hopefully safe. Now, a STOL's purpose is to reach unimaginable territory. Makes it easy to navigate through different sorts, and with the great cargo space comes some nice features. Helps us to make some camping plans. On a peaceful late afternoon in the woods, I plan on unpacking the included hammock right on the side with a great cup of coffee. In case of extending my day, I can always opt to use a kerosene lantern. Another feature on the camping mode that strings up the hammock under the left wing and conveniently packs the hammock during aircraft movement. Now the hammock view makes it more comfy for easy viewing. Now the cargo items aren't just static elements, they do come to use. From camping bags that unpacks a hammock and a camping hat, fishing rod, a drink cooler, a pan in case you get hungry in between with a mini stove, and a guitar. It perfectly relates to the activities one can do on a Wilga. With the stove on, it's hard to pay attention to what I'm really saying. So let me finish this plate real quick and get along with it, aye? Quite a tasty meal, and why am I hearing something? Wait a minute, was that a bear we heard and a gunshot? I hope we aren't in between hunting territory here. Heading back to the air now. Boy, wasn't that a close call. Now Alaska is a great place, you better know where you're heading though. Back into the air and with ease on a STOL like this. Now all the models are equipped with additional GotFriends realism features. The option to turn them on or off can be found in the assistance options, a feature conveniently added by GotGravel. What do we expect in terms of realism here? Engine behaviors, stress failures, things you can encounter if oil, CHT and carburetor temperatures which are too high for extended periods, and all these are calculated using custom thermodynamics. Now how external things can affect a model's performance can be interesting. It would be the carburetor icing, depending on clouds and density that matters. There are temperatures that are ideal and temperatures that are worse for icing, and as pilots, we need to ensure that we fly carefully through dense weather patterns. The core purpose of the Wilga here. This is available for towing gliders via the launch method on the selection menu, which actually spawns an AI Wilga in front of the glider and comes with native features on it. Now something to note is that the Wilga climbs a little more aggressively than the Cessna 172, and of course, the engine part translates that. An experimental feature at the moment when it comes to towing, as it won't work accurately on every airfield, and a feature to be corrected in the future. Now, if you want the best towing experience and a beautiful add-on, consider getting the Discuss 2C, another great model from this team for a beautiful experience. The ability to tow gliders has been one of the key selling points for this model, making it capable to tow a glider with ease and support it till it reaches the desired altitude. Now with the partnership makes things more beautiful. A rendition of the forward farms produced by Emerald Scenery Design would be included with every purchase of the Wilga. It isn't any other scenery, a functional one rather. Prominent features including automatic hangar doors depending on the proximity of the aircraft, dedicated spawn locations for gliders and the Wilga. This would be ideal in case of multiplayer towing. That's another thing to take away from the scenery. Engagement in a better way. Imagine not just on a multiplayer mode, the experience of you towing a friend's Discuss 2C would be much more fun to explore some beautiful terrain. Now, Emerald Scenery Design is another developer, and with this partnership, it opens doors to more avenues where the Wilga can effectively be used in real-world scenarios. Virtual reality. Thankfully, post-Sim Update 11, with the leap some teams have taken, now Radium Avionics is something I was keen on looking for, and no doubt I could see them, plus the moving needles, based on the engine's RPM, making it more realistic. The team have made sure to manage every detail, looking at the way it's presented here. On a VR experience, details do matter, and it's quite essential to experience if that makes us feel like we're actually on a living museum, trying out different cockpits, and the Wilga is no doubt another nice cockpit to experience. Now the team have confirmed VR support as well, making sure to check all the boxes to meet the requirements as of this year. We thought the Wilga was a legendary aircraft that remained to be in the real world. It certainly has paved the way towards a sim. There's no doubt the team of GotFriends have managed to bring that experience to the virtual front, giving us all a thrill on how the Wilga can actually handle, perform, and really be. An Xbox and a PC release for $35. Now, one of the questions you may have on your mind if the Xbox version is any different from the PC one. There's absolutely no difference at all. Both versions work the same way with identical features, and not a single feature has been left out. Just arrive to the marketplace. Another aircraft to consider placing it on your hangar, and do make sure to have the right flight planning or you don't want to come across any wild creatures. One of the recent additions to the sim which has been interesting has been the offshore landmarks pack from Aerosoft. Do take a look as we previewed it, and we're thoroughly impressed. We do have the Vision Jet from the business jet category, which you may want to take a look. The sim never ceases to amaze us with some greater changes and certainly more adventures. Do stay tuned for more by subscribing. It's been a true pleasure. Until next time, do take care.